so I was fortunate enough to clear it in my first attempt. Before that, I was a chartered accountant and I was working in a corporate organization for close to 3 years. So that is my private organization experience. And since sir told that it's a session, free session for students from poor and backward regions of Andhra and Telangana region, I would like to tell you all that whatever I am going to speak is for all those who feel that they do not have enough resources, they do not have enough guidance, or they do not have enough time to prepare for UPSC, or all those students who feel that they cannot clear UPSC in first attempt. So since I have been able to clear it in first attempt, I think I can tell you about my journey and how it worked out for me. So probably you can take some lesson from my journey and customize it according to your own schedule, on lifestyle, and probably you will also be able to clear UPSC in the first attempt. So please listen to me with that mindset that it's not impossible to clear UPSC in first attempt. You can definitely do it. There are many examples, many toppers who have been able to clear UPSC in first attempt, and they have got really good postings and the service of their choice. So please, first of all, just delete this from your mind or remove this misconception from your mind that you will not be able to clear it in the first attempt. You definitely can clear it in first attempt. So I'll tell you about my journey. I in 2016 October end, I decided that I want to appear for UPSC because I always was interested in some government organizations and I wanted to work for the society. I wanted to help people in some manner or the other. So I decided pretty late that I was to appear for UPSC, and I started preparation for UPSC in January 2017 because I was working earlier. I did not get leaves before that. So June 2017 was my attempt, and I started in January 2017 with the following issues. I did not have anyone in my known circle who had already appeared for UPSC or who knew anything about UPSC at all. So basically, I did not have any godfather, I did not have any mentor in UPSC. So I did not have any sort of guidance as far as UPSC and its preparation was concerned. Second issue was because I had started in January 2017 and my attempt was in June 2017 mid. So I had only 5.5 months to prepare for it. And I did not even know the syllabus of UPSC till January. So you can understand how it had impacted my preparation, and I did not have any strategy also. So I was completely clueless as to how to prepare for it. So my strategy was, because there is a lot of online information available, there is so much book list available, there are so many online websites, so many coaching institutes are available. First of all, I had to think whether I want to go for any coaching or not. But since mostly coaching start by July or September, and I was already late by 3 or 4 months, I knew that taking a coaching from any institute was out of question for me because I did not have enough time for it. So I knew that I will have to prepare on my own. For that, I relied on online resources. And for that, what I did was I checked the videos of some of the toppers from 2017, 2016 and 2015 batch. I looked at their book resources and their list, whatever they studied, how they studied. I thoroughly studied their preparation strategies, and I came across some common points that work for everyone. For example, for polity, you will always see everyone recommending Lakshmi Kant. So I knew that these are the common resources that every topper is following, despite how different their strategies are. So I wrote down the topics and wrote down the book list and resources which was followed by every topper and which would be helpful to me in my preparation. On the basis of those 3-4 strategies videos by the toppers, I made a book list of my own that I wanted to follow because I had only 5 months to prepare for prelims, and I did not know whether I wanted to prepare for mains before June itself or I would want to prepare for mains after June. So I thought that it's better that I keep a common book list for prelims and mains so that after appearing for prelims, I can follow the same book list for mains. So that is how I planned for it. I made a complete book list of the resources or the eh, online websites that I was planning to study, and then I made a time schedule. Like I had 5 months with me. I have this much to study, and I have to revise at least 3 times before sitting for prelims. So after making the book list, I made a timetable, first monthly and then fortnightly and then daily. And I just made it a point that I have to follow this schedule. Because when we have time crunch, we have a lot of stress, and I knew that I will not appear for second attempt. If I was not able to clear in the first attempt itself, then I would have continued with my job in my private organization as a chartered accountant. So I knew that whatever I have to put, that has to be put in this attempt. So I put everything that I had in this attempt, and I started studying. And I think by the end of February end or March mid, I was able to cover up the whole prelim syllabus for the first time. I had a basic idea of whatever the prelim syllabus was, be it GC Leong for geography, polity Lakshmikant, or ancient history spectrum. I completed that by mid of March for the first time. And then I started appearing for the mock test because I knew mock tests are very important. We keep on reading, but we don't know how will be the pattern of questions that are asked in prelims examination. So I think mock tests are very important to understand how they ask questions in prelims examination and how you are going to attempt those questions. Sometimes it so happens that there is a question and there are four options. By reading the question, you know that you have read this information somewhere, maybe in newspaper, maybe in some current affairs magazine, or in some books, static syllabus. But despite knowing that you have read this topic somewhere, you are not able to recall where have you read it. So it becomes a problem. But I feel that if you give mock tests on a regular basis, you get habitual of appearing for mock tests, and it really helps a lot in prelims examination. And one more thing that I want to tell you is that UPSC is a long journey. It's not something that you can do in a day or in 15 days or in a month. Even if I started preparing for prelims in January 2017, when I had my attempt in June, my mains exam was still at the end of October. So I had to prepare from January to October. So even if I started late preparation, I still had a period of 10 months of studying. So you have to study every day. Your social life is disrupted. You are not as frequently going out with your friends. You are not able to spend time with your family, and you are stuck in a room full of books with so much of syllabus and so much of material that you feel demotivated. And sometimes it also happens that you have studied a topic, you just covered a topic yesterday or a day before, and when you look at the topic again, you feel that you have completely forgotten it happens with all of us. The it's because the syllabus is so vast, the information is so huge, that we being human beings, we are not able to remember each and everything that we have read. So the key to remember what we have read is to revise it as much as you can. I have always told everyone who has asked me about my preparation strategy or something that must be followed while you are preparing for UPSC is that don't follow multiple resources for one subject or one topic. If you are following polity for Lakshmikant, just just follow Lakshmikant for polity. You don't have to do DD Basu. You don't have to, fall in the trap of following 10 or more book lists, websites, or whatever sources you can gather. It won't help because you will not be able to revise it. And if you are not able to revise it, then studying is of no use. So what I feel is that instead of following 10 resources, just follow one resources 10 times. Because when you are able to revise it and when you are able to, remember things, it will increase your confidence more. So one is that. Second is, some aspirants frequently ask whether it's beneficial to make notes out of newspaper and how should one make notes out of newspaper. What I personally feel is that newspapers are so huge and there is so much of knowledge that is there in newspapers every day. It's not possible to make notes out of the newspaper. There are some people, my friends I know, who used to make notes from newspaper. The problem with that is, one, it takes a lot of time to make notes out of newspaper. Second, by the time 1 month is over and by the time you look at your notes of whatever you made out of newspaper, it's such bulky information that you are not able to revise it. So you realize that you probably wasted 2 hours of every day making notes from newspaper and you are not able to revise any of it. Instead of making notes yourself, I think there are many good online materials from different websites or coaching institutes available, which are in the form of monthly current affair magazines or which are in the form of those online resources. I personally feel that they are better options to follow because they are very exhaustive in the manner. They follow PIB, they follow Hindu, they follow other important news from government agencies also. So I think that is a better way of approaching newspaper. You can start by spending 2 hours on newspaper every day, and then probably once you are habitual of reading newspaper, once you know which columns are important in a newspaper, you can probably finish one newspaper in 45 minutes to 1 hour. Because in a day you have only 24 hours, there is so much to do, there is so much of the static syllabus to be covered, there is so much of the revision to be done that you just cannot spend 3 to 4 hours on only newspaper every day. Instead of that, I would recommend you to read current affairs magazine, because they will save your time and you will get more knowledge and you can revise them also on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. So that would be one. Second is planning. I have already mentioned that planning is very, very important. If you know what to study, but you don't know how to study, when to study, it's going to be very difficult. Attempt, you will have like 2 months before attempt and you will realize that you have studied the resources, you have studied so much, but you are not able to gather the information or you are not able to revise the information. So planning is of utmost important. You have to start with planning. Third thing that I want to say is that in every competitive exam, and exam like UPSC, where you have to study for a continuous period of time over months, and there is so much of syllabus and resources involved that sometimes it feels like it's blowing out of proportion. You are not able to control your life syllabus or whatever. So it happens with every one of us, my batchmates who are in IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS, all of them, all of us have suffered through this. We all have gone through that phase in our preparation when we feel that our preparation is going nowhere. We don't know anything. It's been 3 months since we have been studying. It's been so much of the time that we have been investing in our studies, but we don't know anything. Our marks are not so good. There might be times that you feel that now you are prepared well for this examination. It's just 1 month before the exam. You appear for a mock test and you end up scoring like 70 marks out of 200 or 60 marks out of 200. I just want to tell all of you, this is very much normal. This is very, very much normal. Even the rank 1, rank 2, rank 3 IAS officers, IPS, whoever you follow, if you listen to their stories, we have all gone through this phase. There are times when you are just going to appear for exam and you feel that you have completely lost all the knowledge. You don't remember anything. It doesn't happen that way. There are phases when you will feel low. You will feel like quitting. You will feel like you can't do anything. just take a break. You don't have to study for 24/7. Just take a break, relax, watch a movie, drink coffee, go with your friends, spend some time in nature, whatever helps, whatever makes you happy, and get back to study. It's better to study 10 hours of concentrated study rather than sitting for 16 or 17 hours but not being concentrated, because we are all humans. We cannot concentrate in books for more than a particular period of time. So we have to know where our limitations are. We have to know that what might work for me might not work for you. Probably I take time to cover a topic, I take 2 hours to cover a topic. Probably you need 3 hours or 1 hour. So it depends from person to person. We have to